What's up everyone, my name's Luke and today we're going to be reviewing the Onewheel Pint by Future Motion. I've owned my Pint for over 2 years and have done over 1,000 miles of adventures on it, and I wanted to let the community know if I think it's worth it. So let's first start off by talking about the specification of the Onewheel Pint. This board has an advertised top speed of 16 miles an hour with a range to 6 to 8 miles at a price of $1,000 or £1,000 depending on where you'll be buying your Onewheel Pint from. This board is a micro shredder. I've experienced places like never before, all thanks to this board. So the reason why I got a Onewheel Pint was actually for my 16th birthday, and I was obviously so stoked. But also, I'd seen the community using this board and I was really inspired to experience its benefits as well. The benefits that this board has brought into my life is unmeasurable. This incredible board has allowed me to live an adventure every day, experience new places like never before, and also it's the incredible filmmaking tool that's allowed me to capture cinematic shots that you could not capture without a Onewheel. These adventures close to home not only is a great time, but it's also amazing for your mental health. So for some people that do want to get outside and they don't need 18 miles of range that you're going to get out of an XR or a Pint X, the Pint is perfect. 8 miles, 6 to 8 miles is incredible, and it's more than enough to, fulfill your stoke levels and feel a whole lot better after riding, and it's incredible fun. From my experience, I get pushback on the Onewheel Pint around 14 miles an hour. Now, as you can see on the screen, I've got a much bigger stature than most people, so that is obviously going to affect the board's performance as it's got to move a lot more than it would if you had a smaller person on the board. So for me, I get around 14 to 15 miles an hour before my pushback comes in. Now, obviously the Pint has aggressive pushback, but you're still having a great time at that speed with that smaller 4.5 inch tyre compared to the 6.5 inch on the XR. What it means is you can carve effortlessly, and it's such a good time. While we're on the topic of bigger and smaller riders, what's a great thing about the Onewheel Pint, especially if you're a parent and you're looking to get a board for your child, or if you're a teenager, or even if you're just a smaller person, the Onewheel Pint may be absolutely perfect for you, because even though the Onewheel Pint is a much smaller board, it's shorter and thinner in comparison to an XR. That may be perfect for you because the smaller sensors work better with smaller feet. So from my experience, if you want to get into this Onewheel community and you've never ridden a board sport before, like myself, so you're not 100% sure if you're going to be able to ride it, and I can assure you you will, I have managed to absolutely master it and I'm so stoked about that. So if you're not confident that you're going to be able to ride a Onewheel, you can buy the Pint. It's the cheapest board, it's that entry level pricing, but you still get the built like a tank capabilities, and you get to welcomed into our Onewheel community at a lower price, and when you do master it, you're gonna love it. Range is the biggest factor in my opinion on the Onewheel Pint, and that could be the thing that you have to really consider if you want to get this board or a Pint X, for example. As I'm sure many of you know, the Onewheel Pint X is advertised at 12 to 18 miles of range, but the Onewheel Pint is 6 to 8 miles of range. Now that's due to many factors, but it's mainly because of battery technology back when the Pint was released is nowhere near as advanced as it is now. And also, the Onewheel Pint is not meant to be able to go miles upon miles. This board is perfect in my opinion for that inner city cruiser, if you just want to get from point A to point B. And also, what this means is, because the battery's smaller, you get a much more thin battery pack, so your board has more clearance tip and tail. After owning my Pint and riding around 200 to 300 miles, I knew then that this board sport was for me. And I knew I wanted to take it to the next level, and I wanted to experience longer rides, faster, and go further. So that was when I upgraded to the Onewheel XR flagship board. Now that board has been absolutely incredible for me. For tricks, I really love it with that bigger platform to land on, and the higher top speed and the endless adventure that it takes you on. But that's not to say the Pint is now not a good board. I actually still really enjoy riding the Pint, and it's brought so much joy to many of my friends. Because what I like to do now is if someone I know is trying to get into the one-wheel world, or if they just want to have a different riding experience, I let them ride my Pint because it's totally different to an XR. A stock XR does nowhere near the same feeling as a stock Pint. So it's not like just because you can buy an XR, the Pint, you won't want it. Even if you own an XR, you still might want the Pint for just, going down to the shops, or if you're in the city, you just got to do a couple of blocks. You don't need 18 miles of range. So just because the Pint has lower specs doesn't mean you can't use it in different situations. The hypercore motor on the Onewheel Pint crushes any hill. As you can see from the clip, my friend, he doesn't weigh that much, but still, that is incredible hill climbing. For example, I can't even get up that hill on my XR. So the hypercore motor at 750 watts, just like all the other boards, is so crazy torquey, and for me, it allows you to enter such a flow state, and I love it. Just like any one wheel, the Pint is just the same. You cannot beat that no remote riding style. You can go on any terrain with that go-kart tire, and it's just incredible the capability of this board and where the sport is going with all the tricks and the off-road riding. I just cannot recommend it enough, because even if you get a Pint today and you fall in love with it just like I did and everyone else has, you can then buy a GT further down the line, or the Pint could be more than what you need. So the Pint is that perfect way to enter our one-wheel community. Due to the smaller form factor of the Pint, the mag handle is really useful, because if you do live in the city, you can jump on and off the subway really easily. You can ride from your house to the train, pick it up with the mag handle. It's super light. It's their lightest board that they sell, which is great if you do need to be picking it up more than the average person. You pick it up with the mag handle, super easy, get on the train. When you're off the train, you just let go, the mag handle magnetically pulls back in, and you jump back on the board and you get to work, or you get to where you want to go. And for me, that's perfect, and the Pint, look no further. The Pint is only 27 inches long, so it's going to fit into anyone's life perfectly. And even for me personally, if you're a college student, it can easily fit under your desk at college. So for some people, a bigger board may not work, and you might need a smaller board so you can take it with you wherever you go. So that's something to take in consideration when you're looking at a Pint. For a newer rider as well, simple stop can be really useful. This is a feature that currently you only have in the Pint and the Pint X. And what it means is when you roll into reverse, it sets down the tail and you can get off super easily. For me personally, I do not ride with simple stop because I love being able to go into reverse, reverts and all of that. But for someone that is learning, this could be a great advantage. The integrated lights in the Onewheel are absolutely amazing. I mean, you literally never have to think about it. It doesn't matter what time of day you want to go out and ride. You turn that board on and you can go and shred. You don't need to charge any lights. You don't need to charge a remote. You just charge the board, you get on and go. The integrated lights that switch if you go into reverse are a great intuitive feature. And for me personally, it's something that not that many boards would come with. And for me personally, this is what sets the Onewheel apart from any other electric board. You get that flow state, powder day feeling that you'd get on a snowboard, on tarmac or on the trails every day, no matter what. And that's why I love the Onewheel. So to conclude, for me personally, I'm so happy that I bought a Onewheel Pint. Without that board, I would never have got into board sports, I would have never experienced the mental health benefits, and I wouldn't be able to capture the film shots that I can today. I have now moved to the XR, but I've always wanted to keep my Pint, and that's because of how much fun it is. You just can't beat that Onewheel feeling in that smaller form factor. So if you're looking to get into our Onewheel community, and you don't need XR specs, or you don't need Pint X performance, look no further and buy yourself a Pint, because I'm going to tell you why. It doesn't matter how much you've ridden on a board before, it doesn't matter where you're going to be riding, it doesn't matter how much money you want to spend on the boards in the end. What it means is you've got that $1,000 or £1,000. Really, I'd say it is the best money for that. There's no other board that I think would give you the same feeling for that price. You can experience that flow state and just have a blast and experience life in a whole new way. So I really hope you've all enjoyed this video, and if you have, I'd really appreciate a like and subscribe, as every little helps as a young filmmaker. So for me personally, if you want to enter our Onewheel community, buy yourself a Onewheel Pint and join the revolution.